Hello and welcome to a new episode of Cooking Technique Tuesday. So today I am doing a sweet and spicy Asian tofu. And so this is from savorysimple.net. And actually my lovely CS Leanne, shout out to Leanne, had found this and made it for her family and loved it. So they call for like 3 cups of stir-fried vegetables. I'm using broccoli slaw. I've got garlic. These will get sauteed together. This is for our sauce. So we've got soy sauce, sriracha, and sweet chili sauce. And in here, I've got some grapeseed oil. You could use canola. I did put just a little bit of sesame oil in there because what we're going to do is actually use it with my tofu. And of course, I forgot. I was going to leave the other plate on top, but that's okay. So what I did an hour before this was I put this tofu on the plate, wrapped up in a paper towel, and I had the exact same plate on top. So what this did over the hour, and I changed the towels about, 3 times. There we go. And what it does is it takes a lot of the moisture out. So it is, this is extra firm tofu, and it is kept in, like, it's water, basically, when you're purchasing it from the grocery store. So this will help the outside to crisp up a little bit better. So it was really just the weight of the, because as you can see, they're kind of thick plates. So it was the weight of the plate that really helped to very slowly draw out some of the moisture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into big cubes, because what we're going to do is sear all the sides with our oil, and again, a little bit of sesame oil just to add some flavor. Now, the recipe also, like if you go to the blog website, again, that's savorysimple.net, they talk about serving this with brown rice. I am actually just upping the veggies by about a cup, and I'm just going to serve it like this, mostly because I don't want to spend any points on brown rice for dinner tonight because I want cheese as a snack. So it's all about balance, everybody. So the recipe also calls for you to just kind of stir together the ingredients. Cook this separate, and then kind of like toss this on top of everything. So what I'm going to do is when I'm sauteing, or when I'm just about done sauteing these veggies, I'm going to add the sauce ingredients. So I can combine all of it on that, and then I'll just top it with the tofu. So you'll see what I mean when we actually get there, but I just wanted to explain a little bit. So let's get over to my wok. Alrighty, so I'm at my wok. I have my heat on medium-high. I'm going to go ahead and add my oil. And don't use olive oil with this. Use vegetable oil if you're not going to use grapeseed, which is totally fine. That's just what I used in culinary school. Now, like I said, I did add just a little bit of sesame oil to this because I wanted the flavor of it. And as you can see by the shimmering, we are ready to go. So I'm going to add in my tofu. There we go. And what I'll do is kind of do this to make sure the sides get some oil on them. I'm going to go ahead and add most of the rest of this. Now, what I really want to focus on right now is just making sure that I get the sides brown. So I'm going to end up flipping it over, but not too often. So I'm really going to let this kind of sit for a good minute or so. I can move it around as such. Also, you don't need to do this in a wok. You can absolutely 100% do this in a nonstick skillet or a regular skillet. This is my wok, and I really like using it sometimes. So let me add the rest in. There we go. So I'm going to give them a minute on this. And basically what we want to do is we want to brown at least 4 sides. We're really looking for that crispy, crunchy texture. So I'm going to let this sit for a minute, and I'll see you here in just a second. Alrighty, so it's been about 4 minutes. So I'm going to test it and see. Look. We got some nice crispy crunch. Now, I will say a couple things. So first of all, you're not going to get the texture of like deep fried because, well, this is not deep frying. But what we are going to get is some nice color. Now, if you wanted to, you could also do this. Whoops, that's going to go that way. There we go. You could do this in 2 different batches. I'm just lazy. So the thing is these are going to steam a little bit together, but as you can see, I'm still getting a nice color on them. So I'm going to cook this for a few more minutes. Obviously, too, the pan's going to get hotter as we keep it on the heat. So, but I'm liking the color I'm getting so far. So I'm going to let it cook on the other side, so just keep an eye on it. The other side probably will not take 4 minutes, but just keep an eye on it. So I'll see you when I am done cooking these. So again, at least 4 sides. See you in a few minutes. Alrighty, so as you can see, we are all good and browned. I think I missed like one, but whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn this off for just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and put this on a plate just to reserve off to the side. And then I'm going to go ahead off camera and just kind of combine those ingredients for the sauce. But I'll come back with our broccoli slaw. So be right back. All right, so I still had a little bit of oil left over, but I've also got my oil spray bottle. So I'm going to put just a little bit in here. There we go. Alrighty, I'm going to get the heat back on. And I'm going to do this on about medium. So I've got garlic. And again, the pan is still pretty hot. There we go. And I've got my broccoli slaw. What I like about using broccoli slaw is, guess what? I didn't have to cook this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cook this until it is cooked through. You know, whatever texture or whatever, you know, you desire doneness wise. If you still want it a little al dente, if you want it pretty well cooked, it is up to you. So with woks, though, you want to kind of keep the heat high, and I'm going to keep kind of moving it around. There we go. Because I also don't want the garlic to burn. And you'll smell it, trust me. So I'll probably go ahead and top this with a little bit of my olive oil spray as well, just to give it a little bit of extra moisture. All right, so I'm going to cook this. I'll be back when I add the sauce. Alrighty, we are back. As you can see, I added mushrooms. I was standing here sauteing the broccoli, and remembered I did have some mushrooms left over in my fridge, so I added them. I would have liked the mushrooms to get a little bit of a better sear, so I kind of did this backwards. Clearly, you can do whatever veg you want. Since I had mushrooms, and mushrooms are like my favorite thing ever, I thought I would add this. So this is basically done. I like the texture of the broccoli. So what I'm going to do now is add our sauce. Now, I did reserve, I'll scrape that out in a second. I did reserve some of the sauce to top the tofu with. Remove that. I'm trying to get like all the sauce. No sauce left behind is pretty much it. So there was a little bit left on this. I'm just kind of doing that. There we go. So I'm going to let this cook for just a couple more minutes, and then we can plate. So what I'll do is I'll put this on the plate, put some tofu on top of it, and then I'm going to drizzle some of the reserved sauce. None of this is in the recipe. I'm kind of doing this as I go. So there we go. All right, so I'm going to let this cook for about another 2 minutes, and I'll see you when we plate. Alrighty, so I plated my veg. I have my tofu, which I'm just going to take a few pieces. Technically, this whole recipe makes 2 servings, but I'm probably going to turn this into 3, maybe even 4, to be honest. But what I've got now, we'll do one more right there. So what I've gotten, also one other addition I would have made and will make next time I do this, is adding some green onions, especially on top for color as a garnish. But it's all good. So I'm just taking a spoon and I am just drizzling my sauce, mostly just over the pieces of the tofu, just so every single one of them gets some flavor. And now I'm just going to dip one of these. I need to take a picture of this. But, oh yeah. Sauce is tasty. Sweet, spicy. I added like a tablespoon more sriracha than it said. I like spice. But this is delicious. Pretty quick and easy to throw together. Didn't even really have to chop anything, so can't beat that. So this is sweet and spicy tofu. And I will see you next Cooking Technique Tuesday.